Everybody knows someone who got hit by the mortgage crisis. It affected everyone. From small towns to big cities and everything in between. Times were tough. People were losing their homes, jobs, businesses, and the whole economy was a wreck. Businesses had hard times getting their books to work because they didn't have any profit coming in. Quarterly reports were horrible for investors, banks, everywhere, meaning that they were bleeding money. Some went out of business. Families were scared. People weren't sure what to do. Their homes were going upside down in value very rapidly, and their income was falling very quickly. Many people bought houses way too high at the top of the market, and shortly after, prices collapsed. Some of them just walked away just so they could survive. Meanwhile, bankers were hoping that these homeowners would pay again, make up the back payments, and keep the mortgages good so they wouldn't have to foreclose. But that never happened. Instead, these bad mortgages kept piling up. They started getting called toxic assets, and the banks were unable to lend anymore because so many of these loans went bad, and they weren't able to foreclose on all of them, or the crash would just get worse. The more homes that they had to foreclose on, the more home values went down, and they would keep dropping, even on the good mortgages that were current. Today's good mortgage would have been tomorrow's upside-down mortgage. So these notes or I.O.Us were now almost worthless at a rapid pace, and they didn't have very much value because the payments weren't coming in on time. If the banks weren't able to get loans to pay on time, they had to keep extra capital in reserves. So bankers and government officials were just stuck. And then someone on Wall Street had a great idea. How about we buy these non-performing notes? Why don't we offer to pay the bank pennies on the dollars? We'll buy them by the millions. The banks will get the cash they need. We'll get some assets that'll be worth a lot of money at some point in the next few years. And that's what they did. By the millions. Wall Street bought millions of these toxic assets from banks through hedge funds, private equity firms, and they bought them dirt cheap. So, fast forward several years. Here we are in 2016. Now the economy has improved drastically. And these assets are now worth significantly more. So Wall Street's taking it out there to the investors. The little guys like you and me were able to go up to Wall Street, buy these distressed debt mortgages, these non-performing notes, and get them for really cheap. So what does that mean for you and me? So what? Well, here's what. These nationwide deals you're able to get for 40 to 50 cents off of fair market value. And that's important. Just imagine buying a mortgage for super cheap without having to do hammers and nails and fix and flips. You can buy the note straight from Wall Street. That means you're the bank. You get to help communities, help families. You get to negotiate with a homeowner. They get to keep their home, and you get some cash flow and a very good security. It's a win-win for everyone. Simply take that mortgage, go to the homeowner and say, I'm your new bank, let's negotiate. You used to owe a whole lot of money on your loan, but now your house is worth a whole lot less. Let's make a deal. Of course, the homeowner's thrilled because for the last several years he hasn't been making payments and he's worried that the bank's going to foreclose any day. It's a lot of stress. So we've reduced the mortgage. Maybe work on the payments. It's that easy. We can buy some of these mortgages for $20,000 to $50,000. They're worth $50,000. We go to the homeowner, forgive some debt, and they agree that the new note would be worth $50,000. The investor's money is secured. The homeowner understands that he won't go into foreclosure now. His payment is lower, he owes less, and his family is secure. But what happens if they fail to pay? The note holder gets a mortgage with the note. That gives you the right to foreclose if someone stops paying. So you give them a chance at least. And worst case scenario is you go to an attorney and have them foreclose. And you sell that house for $40,000 to $50,000, whatever the fair market value is. You have $25,000 into it. Pretty good investment. $25,000. secures that note with a house in a nice neighborhood. It's as simple as that. You bring the money to the table. You have the documents. They'll give you the security with a house in case someone stops paying or they don't want to pay. And then you get the house if you have to foreclose. Of course, we do all this way ahead of time to make sure that we understand what the house is worth before we buy it. So in 6 to 9 months, if you had to foreclose, your $25,000 turned into $45,000 after costs. It's a pretty significant return. Think about that. At the very worst, you could end up with a rental property or a house that you could own or finance. So, if you'd like to talk a little bit more about this is just a big picture overview. I'd like to sit down with you sometime, either by coffee or by phone or Skype or however you like to communicate. But let's sit down and talk and have a productive conversation about how you can get involved with non-performing notes. I'm always looking for new partners, and I would love to have a chance to talk to you. Thanks for watching.